So today we are reading from the first canto, 4th chapter and 25th verse. Out of compassion, the great sage thought it is wise that this would enable men to achieve the ultimate goal of life. Thus, he compiled the great historical narration called the Mahabharata for women, laborers, and friends of the twice-born. Purport. The friends of the twice-born family are those who are born in the families of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, or the spiritually cultured families, but who themselves are not equal to their forefathers. Such descendants are not recognized as such for want of purificatory achievements. The purificatory activities begin even before the birth of a child, and the seed-giving reformatory process is called Garbhadan Samskar. One who has not undergone such Garbhadan Samskar or spiritual family planning is not accepted as being of an actual twice-born family. The Garbhadan Samskar is followed by other purificatory processes, out of which the sacred thread ceremony is one. This is performed at the time of spiritual initiation. After this particular samskara, one is rightly called twice born. One birth is calculated during the seed-giving samskara, and the second birth is calculated at the time of spiritual initiation. One who has been able to undergo such important samskaras can be called a bona fide twice born. If the father and mother do not undertake the process of spiritual family planning and simply beget children out of passion only, the children are called Dvijabandhus. These Dvijabandhus are certainly not as intelligent as the children of the regular twice-born families. The Dvijabandhus are classified with the Shudras and the woman class, who are by nature less intelligent. The Shudras and woman class do not have to undergo any samskara save and except the ceremony of marriage. The less intelligent class of men, namely women, Shudras, and unqualified sons of the higher caste, are devoid of necessary qualifications to understand the purpose of the transcendental Vedas. For them, the Mahabharata was prepared. The purpose of the Mahabharata is to administer the purpose of the Vedas, and therefore within this Mahabharata, the summary Veda of Bhagavad Gita is placed. The less intelligent are more interested in stories than in philosophy, and therefore the philosophy of the Vedas in the form of the Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Lord Shri Krishna. Vyasadeva and Lord Krishna are both on the transcendental plane, and therefore they collaborated in doing good to the fallen souls of this age. The Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic knowledge. It is the first book of spiritual values, as the Upanishads are. The Vedanta philosophy is the subject matter for study by the spiritual graduates. Only the postgraduate spiritual student can enter into the spiritual or devotional service of the Lord. It is a great science, and the great professor is the Lord himself in the form of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And persons who are empowered by him can initiate others in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Vena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpataruvyaschа Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvise Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I really want to thank all of you for giving me this opportunity to speak, and I seek blessings of Rasamandal Prabhu before I speak. So, today's topic I have in the verse, there are many points, but I have tried to divide into 3 parts. And Prabhupada here mentions very clearly, this chapter is appearance of Lord Narada. And it begins with Vedivyas having some confusion. And he's thinking that I have already written so many scriptures. And in this particular verse, he's saying that I have compiled Mahabharata. And in the purport, Prabhupada is explaining about the importance of samskaras. When we talk about Vedic culture is meant for human life to uplift the human beings to a higher and higher spiritual consciousness. When we use the word culture in microbiology is growth, where the organism, the environment in which the organism can grow. So similarly, Vedic culture is meant so that the living entity, the spirit soul who takes the human form of life, can actually grow in the higher and higher spiritual consciousness, and if possible, receive the ultimate goal of human life, reaching back home, back to Godhead. So here Prabhupada is talking about Garbhadan Samskar. Prabhupada has mentioned at other places, Garbhadan Samskar is a Kula Dharma, and Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas must perform this samskara. It is a ceremony, it is a cultural ceremony before the woman becomes pregnant. Prabhupada says that why this is important? Because when Garbhadan Samskar is performed, the children who are born through Garbhadan Samskar, they are highly intelligent. And Prabhupada clarifies, why do we need that intelligence? Why do we need that good brain? Prabhupada says, we need good brains to understand the scriptures. So that human being who is born through Garbhadan Samskar, they can actually study the scriptures and understand what is the purpose of the human life. If we see that what brings a good child in the world, it is cumulative effect of mother and father's lifestyle, their karmas, and the processes performed before and during the pregnancy. Prabhupada is mentioning here that Garbhadan Samskar is first birth and spiritual initiation is the second birth. It is mentioned in the scriptures that the parents give the patra, the body, and spiritual master fills the patra with the nectar of devotional service, and which is offered at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. So if the patra, if we understand logically, if the patra is made up of plastic with holes, it can be only used outside as a bin. But if the patra is made up of gold or silver, it can be used in the service of the Lord, direct service of the Lord. So that is why Prabhupada is mentioning here the importance of Garbhadan Samskar. If we understand according to Charaka Sharira Sthana, there are 3 things which are important to give birth. As we mentioned that if you want to grow a plant, you need seed, you need soil, and you need water and sunlight. So here in the form of when you want to give birth to a human being, you need seeds in the form of the male and female seeds. Soil is mother's womb. And nourishment and care received during pregnancy is all these samskaras, Garbha Samskar. What mother does, mother's lifestyle, her speech, her activities, her thoughts, her behavior, everything influences the child in the womb. In ancient times, Garbhadan Samskar was given lot of importance. If we see, all the processes perform to attract a very, very powerful soul. As per modern medical science also, we understand that there are millions of sperms which try to reach the ovum, but only one sperm actually can enter the ovum. And who is that fortunate sperm? On that sperm where the spirit soul enters. As we say that somebody is dead, that means body is there, but the soul has left. When the soul leaves, we say the body is dead. Similarly, till the time the soul doesn't enter, there is no conception. So Garbhadan Samskar is a process of attracting a powerful soul. If you attract a powerful soul, 99% of your job is done. And Mahanarayan Upanishad mentions, with the soul, there is subtle body, because soul travels on the vehicle of the subtle body, that means mind, intelligence and ego. And Paramatma enters in the ovum. And it is the presence of the Paramatma who actually causes the growth right from 2 cells to a multicellular, highly evolved human body. So we must understand that what should the parents do to attract the great soul. And we see from scriptures, Nanda and Yashoda, Devaki and Vasudev, they perform millions of years of tapasya in the previous life just to get Krishna as a soul, Krishna as a child. We see Lord Ramchandra's parents, Dashrath Maharaj, they perform so many yagyas, so many tapasyas, 1 year full doing with the Rishi Shringa, Rishi, all the processes so that they can attract, he got the benediction of having 4 sons. We see in the case of Vedvyas himself, Parashar Muni, when he was traveling and Satyavati was a fisherwoman who was making him cross the river, and suddenly he realized that the planets are in a very good position to attract a very, very powerful spiritual personality. And that's how he impregnated Satyavati and Vedvyasji was born. We hear from Mahabharata about the birth of Dhritarashtra, Pandu and Vidura. The consciousness of the mother at the time of conception actually influences the child. Because when Dhritarashtra was conceived, the queen closed her eyes, and that's how Dhritarashtra was blind. Other queen, she became pale, that's why Pandu was born, who had a disease of anemia. But the maid servant who came in front of Vedvyas, she came with complete awe and reverence and with great gratitude. And that's how Vidura, a highly intelligent person, was born. So Garbhadan Samskar is a process to give birth to healthy, intelligent and Krishna conscious children. We also see in the case of Prahlad, many times people say, like, we get patients who are gangsters, but they say, we want very good child. They have a lifestyle or they have done everything wrong, but as a child, when a child, they want very good child. So in case of Hiranyakashipu also, demigods were very scared that what will happen if this child will be born. So Brahmaji was too much in anxiety after giving this benediction to Hiranyakashipu. And Hiranyakashipu was performing more tapasya. Narada Muni, understanding his father's heart, took the form of a bird. And where Hiranyakashipu was performing tapasya, he started chanting Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. And Hiranyakashipu got so disturbed. And this pastime comes in one of the Puranas. He got so disturbed, he gave up his tapasya, he came home. And he told Kayadu. Kayadu asked, what happened? Why did you come back so early? He said, no, this is what happened, and this bird was constantly chanting my enemy's name, Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. And he again repeated. And Kayadu heard Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. And in that consciousness, they united, and Prahlad entered in the womb of Kayadu. And later on we know the demigods actually kidnapped Mother Kayadu, and they wanted to kill the child as soon as the child was born. But again Narada Muni intervened, and he said, just wait. I can change the mind of this particular child. So Garbha Samskar is a process by which you can, because when the soul enters, soul comes with mind, intelligence and ego, and that mind already has the impressions, Rajasic, Tamasic, Sattvic from the previous lives. Those impressions are there. But during Garbha Samskar, what the mother does during her pregnancy, you can remove those negative Rajasic and Tamasic effects and flush, you can make the child's mind and intelligence filled with Sattvic impressions. And Sattvic impressions means a child who is born who is full of dynamism, intelligence, and most important part of intelligence is discrimination between what is right and what is wrong. And that is why this process is very, very important. And that's what Narad Muni did. By flooding Kayadu with so much spiritual consciousness, by hearing, attentive, giving so much Srimad Bhagavatam Kathas, and he actually, Prahlad was born, who had such powerful Krishna consciousness. There are so many examples. If we can see from the life of Maharaj Pandu. Maharaj Pandu was actually given the curse and he retired in the forest. He was staying with both his queens in Shatasinga mountains, in the range of Shatasinga mountain. And he knew that even though he cannot have children, it is his great responsibility as a king and as a grihastha to give birth to children. And he was a very powerful king, so he knew exactly what he needed. He wanted to establish dharma in the bhumi of Bharata. So when Kunti Devi told him, revealed to him, that I have got this benediction, that I can invite different demigods and I can have sons through them, the first thing Pandu Maharaj told Kunti, that invite Dharmaraj. Because to establish dharma, we need a son from Dharmaraj. And Kunti prayed and she invited Dharmaraj, who came, and that's how Yudhishthira Maharaj was born, and the first son to establish dharma. Then Pandu Maharaj told that now you invite Vayu. Why was Vayu invited? Because if dharma has to have prana, dharma has to move, dharma has to be established, you need power, you need resources, and you need strategy. And who can give you this? Only Vayu. Vayu gives prana, Vayu gives the movement. And that's how Kunti performed 1 year of tapasya again. And after 374 days, when Yudhishthira was born, Bhima was born. Then once Bhima was born, she again asked her husband, what should I do? He said, we have Dharma, the son of Dharmaraj to establish Dharma. We have Vayu who will provide the power, resources and strategy. But we also need a powerful Ansh of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he said that invite Indra. Because Indra actually represents, because he's the king of the demigods, he also represents Lord Narayan. And then she invited Indra and she got the powerful son, actually Ansha of Narayan, Nara. And Arjuna was born. Kunti for Arjuna, it is mentioned in Mahabharata, she did special sankalpa, that she was having a vision, what type of child she wants. Then she did prayers, and then third was tapasya. So out of intense tapasya, sankalpa and prayers, Arjuna was born. And when Arjuna was born, there was Pushpa Varsha from the sky. So we understand that how Pandu Maharaj systematically, first Dharmaraj, then Vayu, and then Lord Indra. And then Madri invited Ashwini Kumaras, because you need good health to establish dharma, to practice dharma. And Ashwini Kumars are the doctors. So here we can see that if a devotee couple or any grihastha who practices the proper Garbhadan Samskar, then they have the power to invite such powerful spirit souls who can establish dharma or who can change so many things in the material world. In India, we have a famous example of Jijamata. We come from a state of, Mumbai is in a state of Maharashtra. And Maharashtra, the very famous king was Maharaj Shivaji. And Shivaji was born to Jijamata. Jijamata at that time, she was a queen, she was a princess. Both her father and husband unfortunately had to serve Mughals because Mughals were ruling India at that time. And she used to always argue with the father and husband that why can't in our own country we can have our own independence. And somehow or other her father was killed by Mughals right in the court of Mughals. So she decided that I will have a son who will establish independence and Swaraj and who will drive away Mughals away from India. And with that vision, with that tapasya, she actually performed a lot of rituals and she gave birth to Shivaji. And with her vision, her prayers and her tapasya, actually Shivaji Maharaj was able to do it. He established Swaraj. I have also read that we are sitting in the house of George Harrison. George Harrison's mother wanted to give birth to a musician. So during her pregnancy, she was constantly hearing different melodies of music. So whatever activities mother does, or what type of soul you attract, that decides. So this process is there, the science is there. And we should utilize this process, we should utilize this science. And Garbhadan Samskar, it includes preparation before the mother becoming pregnant. So there may be preparation, bodily purification by practicing Panchakarma, mental purification by practicing some tapasya, and spiritual preparation by practicing intense spiritual practices, by intensifying your reading, hearing, chanting, and association of Vaishnavas. And if a mother or a father together, they have a vision that what qualities they want in their child, and they read about those great personalities, maybe whomever they get attracted to the great devotees, and read about them, absorb those qualities, it is sure if they follow the process, same qualities will be present in the child. So we can see here Srila Prabhupada is very strongly recommending that how all the couples or grihasthas should follow this process of Garbhadan Samskar. I was thinking sometimes, even if you want to buy a car or a house, we just don't go and buy. We do lots of research. We see so many things. Or even if somebody is coming to your home, you have a program, you do it so much planning. What menu, who is going to sit there, where is there going to be mic system. But when it comes to giving birth to a child, in the modern world, there is no planning. The living entity who is going to remain with you for the rest of the life, for that there is no preparation. That is why Prabhupada is very highly recommending that grihastha couples must follow the process of Garbhadan Samskar. Because if you attract the right kind of soul, 99% of your parenting job is done. Then rest of the life you can practice your Krishna consciousness with the child very nicely. Here also Prabhupada is mentioning about Vedivyas writing Mahabharata. And Mahabharata is a scripture written for Kali Yuga. The hero of Mahabharata is Arjuna. Hero of Bhagavad Gita also is Arjuna. And I want to tell few pastimes where how Krishna was so much in love with Arjuna that he was ready to do anything for Arjuna. It is said in the scriptures during the war of Khandava-prastha, when Krishna and Arjuna were fighting against Indra, and they won the war. So Indra actually was defeated, but he was very, very happy because he was defeated by his own son. So he came and he asked benediction, that tell me what benediction do you want? And Krishna was also there. So he asked Krishna also, what benediction do you want? And Krishna did not tell him that, just shut up, I am the original Narayan and you come from me. Krishna was very sensitive. And if you read those verses, what does Krishna ask for? Imagine if Krishna has to ask some benediction from somebody. Krishna asked for friendship with Arjuna. That let my friendship with Arjuna always remain. And what did Arjuna ask? Arjuna asked for Divyastra, because he knew he had to use this Divyastra in the future. In the war of Mahabharat, the first day, Yudhishthir was watching how Bhishma is, ruining the army of Pandavas. Second day, third day. So he just could not, control himself. And he came and told Krishna, Krishna, I am just giving up this war and I am going to the forest. And I don't want to fight because Arjuna is not going to do anything. And Bhishma, Drona, nobody is able to, we are not going to able to defeat them. So Krishna says, don't worry. If you want, I can do anything for you, brothers. He said, I will do whatever it pleases you. He said, there is a secret vow between me and Arjuna, that whenever Arjuna is in trouble, I will help him, and wherever I am in trouble, Arjuna will help me. He said, Arjuna is my pran. Arjuna is my soul, and I am soul of Arjuna. I cannot stay without Arjuna. Just don't worry. Tomorrow morning, I will kill all the Kuru dynasty. I will kill all the soldiers. And then Yudhishthira Maharaj, who is extremely sensitive, said, my dear Lord, you have taken a vow that you will never fight. And we do not want that you break this vow for us. So you can see here the quality of Yudhishthira Maharaj. That it was not that, yes, Lord, you can do it tomorrow and the war will be finished. He was extremely sensitive. There is another place in Mahabharata where Sanjay goes and tells Dhritarashtra that I want to tell you something what I saw today. He said it was not Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai. It was not that it was I was destined to see this, but it was my great fortune. He said I was not allowed to go in that area, but somehow that I entered the restricted area, and what did I see today? He said I saw Lord Krishna lying on the bed with his lotus feet on the lap of Arjuna. And Krishna was just relaxing. And Arjuna's lotus feet was pressed by Draupadi. Saying it was such an intimate relationship. Saying, how can you fight with Arjuna? Because Arjuna is so close to Krishna. We also see in the battle of Kurukshetra, when Abhimanyu was killed, Arjun came back in the evening and he took a vow. What was the vow? That tomorrow morning I will fight with Jayadratha, and before the sunset I will kill Jayadratha. And if I don't kill Jayadratha before sunset, I will enter fire. Arjuna took this vow and he went to sleep. And Krishna could not sleep. Because he knew that tomorrow Kauravas will make all the arrangements so that Arjun cannot kill Jayadratha. And also knew that if somebody kills Jayadratha, Jayadratha had a benediction that whoever makes his head fall down on the earth, his head will blast. So Arjun is sleeping peacefully in his tent, but Krishna cannot sleep. He is just turning. He's so anxious. And then he calls Daruka. Daruka, I have a special instruction for you. Tomorrow, whenever I will blow my conch shell, when I will see it is required, you come prepared with my chariot with all my weapons, and I will destroy all the Kauravas. Because I cannot think of remaining on this planet Earth without Arjuna. So here you can see the intense love of Krishna for Arjuna and Pandavas. There is a pastime when even after the war of Kurukshetra got over and all the Pandavas came to Hastinapur, Krishna told them, stop, I will go first and meet Gandhari. Why? There is a special reason. He went to Gandhari and Gandhari was very angry. She was very upset. He said, because of you, you could have stopped. She was telling Krishna, she was blaming Krishna. You could have stopped this war, but you did not stop this war. Because of you, my all sons, 100 sons are dead. And she was really speaking so many things. And Krishna was just patiently hearing. He did not argue with Gandhari. Krishna was extremely sensitive. He understood that As a mother, she is going through a very painful experience, a traumatic experience. She has lost all her children. And then Gandhari, out of her anger, she curses Lord Krishna. That I have, whatever by my tapasya, whatever benefit I have accumulated, I curse you. The way you have destroyed my dynasty, all my children, your dynasty will be destroyed. And Krishna with folded hands accepted. And he was smiling within. Why? Because he was most scared of Gandhari after the war. Because he knew that Gandhari had that power because of her chastity to curse 5 Pandavas and kill him. But now, because of his intelligence, he actually now knows that nothing can happen to Pandavas. So we can see here that Lord is ready to take the curse on his family. But he wants to protect Pandavas. Now, what is this? Why Pandavas are so dear to Krishna? Why Arjuna is so dear to Krishna? Because of his qualities and his actions. Because of his, Arjuna had character and competency both. He had those great qualities, those great values by which Krishna was just getting attracted to those qualities. And not only had those qualities, he had those skills by which he could actually protect dharma. There are so many incidences. There was this when Dronacharya was killed, Ashwathama was very angry. And Ashwathama had one weapon, which was Narayanastra. And he told Duryodhan that today I am going to kill all the Pandavas. And Duryodhan was shocked. Because till now, he had Bhishma, and Bhishma said, I will not touch Pandavas. Drona, who had said, I will not touch Pandavas. Karna had not told him, but he had realized that Karna is not touching Pandavas. He is not killing any 4 Pandavas. But here Ashwathama is telling, I will kill Pandavas, I will kill Krishna, I will kill everyone. And Duryodhan is very happy. And all the Pandavas are in great anxiety. Because Narayan Astra was very powerful. And Arjuna had nothing in front of Narayan Astra. So again, as devotees, what will they do? They approach Krishna. So Krishna said, only one thing you can do. When he releases Narayan Astra, all of you should put your weapons on the ground and just bow down. Just offer obeisances to Narayan Astra. And it will not destroy you. But Bhima, his passion, he said, no, I will not bow down. Arjuna, how can you put your Gandiva on the floor? This is not appropriate. So Arjuna said, I have taken a vow, I will not raise my Gandiva in front of Lord Narayan, cows, women, and those who have taken shelter of me. So I am going to put my Gandiva down. And Bhima was not putting it down. And Ashwathama released Narayan Astra. And it had so much power, so much light. And when it saw Bhima, all the light was focused to Bhima. But then Arjuna realized and he released Varuna Astra. And when Varuna Astra was released, it is like it pushed Bhima on the floor. And Narayan Astra just moved ahead and nothing happened to Pandava's army. And Duryodhana was shocked. He said, now release it again, He said, no, I can release only once. So we can see that the quality of Arjuna here, the quality of humility. Whatever is required to please the Lord, whatever the Lord says, I want to do it. That quality actually attracted Lord Krishna. Arjuna was very, very sensitive person. Even in the war, in the war of Virata, Arjuna for 1 year, he had not practiced archery. In fact, he was in the woman's body and he was teaching dance to the girls, including Uttara. And then suddenly, the Kauravas headed by Bhishma attacks Matsyaraj, the Virata. And everybody is gone on the other side because Susharma is attacking that side. So Matsyaraj has gone there with all the 4 Pandavas. And Arjuna is alone with Uttar Kumar. And he is waiting there. And then suddenly he realizes that all the Kauravas are here. So when Arjuna comes with Uttar Kumar first says, I want to run away from here. And then Arjuna says, no, Arjuna is preaching to him that you should not run away from the war. You should fight. And we know that in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna also wants to do the same thing. So Arjuna wanted to run away from the war. But Uttara wanted to run away from the war. But Arjuna tells him that I can fight this war. And he fights the war, he defeats all of them. He defeats all of them, and then at the end, he releases an astra by which all of them become unconscious. So why does he do that? Because before he left, Uttara had asked Arjuna that if my brother defeats all the Kauravas, I want all the Uttariyas, all the chadars of all the Kauravas to decorate my dolls. So Arjuna remembered that. He said, now Uttar Kumar, go and take Uttariyas or the shawl of all these Kaurava armies, except Bhishma Dev. Saying, don't touch my grandfather. Except Bhishma, you take everyone's. So we can see here, Arjuna was extremely sensitive. Even when he went to the heavenly planet during their time of exile, Indra, usually we know how attached he is to his throne. He doesn't allow anybody neither to sit or forget sitting on the throne. But that time he tells Arjuna, you can sit on my throne, He gives half the seat. So you can see how much Indra loves his son Arjuna. And then Indra wanted him to enjoy Apsara Urvashi. And he wanted to do this. But Arjuna was not at all looking at Urvashi's dance. So when Indra asked him that why don't you enjoy with Urvashi, you are my son, you have come to the heavenly planet. He said, no, she is my mother. Why? Because she is the wife of Pururava, who is our ancestor. He said, but here you don't need to, on heavenly planet and earthly planet, the rules are different. Here she is not considered as your mother. He said, no, but still she is my mother. So we can understand that Arjuna was extremely sensitive person. And these qualities only attracted Krishna towards Arjuna. And you can see that how much Krishna loved Arjuna. So if we want to attract Krishna towards us, we need to develop these qualities. Krishna mentions these qualities in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What are the demoniac and qualities of Deva and Asura? So if we try to develop these qualities, we will be able to attract Krishna. And the last thing Srila Prabhupada mentions here, that Bhagavad Gita is the most important scripture, and anybody who has taken initiation can actually spread this message. We know the story of South Indian Brahmana in the temple of Sri Rangam and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he entered the temple of Sri Rangam in front of Ranganath, this illiterate Brahmana, he was holding Bhagavad Gita and he was crying. So the Lord approached him and asked him, why are you crying? What is inspiring you so much? He said, I am illiterate. Which verse is inspiring? He said, I am not able to read. He said, then why are you crying? He said, no, it is the instruction of my spiritual master to read Bhagavad Gita every day. And that is why I am reading. And he was actually holding Bhagavad Gita upside down. He said, why are you crying? He said, no, just the fact that Krishna has become the chariot driver for Arjuna. That itself, that Krishna can come down to such a humble position to serve his devotee. Just this thought actually is bringing tears in my eyes. And that time Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that one who follows the instruction of the spiritual master very sincerely, the knowledge is revealed from within. So even though he was not reading, but still the knowledge was revealed. The highest knowledge was revealed to him. And Srila Prabhupada, we know, all of us know that how much hard work he has done to write the scriptures. Remaining awake in the night, preparing, before even he came to the West, preparing only what preparation he did? Writing scriptures. So scriptures are very, very important for us to enlighten ourselves. There are two pastimes of Srila Prabhupada, that when he was fighting for the Juhu temple land, there were Mr. Nair had taken away the land, and there was government also against, and they were thinking that these people are just trying to take away our land, and they should not make temple. Will not let them make temple here. So Prabhupada says, if they don't let us make temple here, we will convert this area into a bus depot. We will park all our buses here. All the buses will be filled with our books. Every morning the buses will leave from this place and flood the entire city, go to different places, distribute books, come back in the night and we'll park it here. If they don't want us to make temple here, we'll make this as a bus depot. Prabhupada was so convinced about his books, convinced about his scriptures. And also the instruction of the spiritual master. One pastime, I will end with one pastime of Srila Prabhupada with Giriraj Maharaj. Giriraj Maharaj was doing fundraising for Kolkata temple, and Prabhupada gave him one instruction, that wherever you go, whoever offers you even something, small little thing, just accept it for Krishna. Even if they want to give you some small thing, you accept it. Don't argue, because they are giving it for Krishna. And Giriraj Maharaj went to one very rich person's house. He had big mansion, and he was showing Giriraj Maharaj every room, and there were beautiful decorative pieces and painting and doorknobs. Everything was made up so expensive. So, he was showing everything, and then Giriraj Maharaj asked him that, can you give us some donation? So immediately he said, all this is on debt. This is not purchased with my money. So Giriraj Maharaj immediately he was feeling very angry within. That just now you wasted so much time showing me all these things, and now you are telling you have no money for Krishna. But he remembered Prabhupada's instruction, that Prabhupada has told that whatever somebody can offer, just accept it. So then this gentleman said, but I have a new brand ambassador car. At that time there were very few cars. And I have a driver. So when the driver drops me to the office, then he is free till the time he has to come to pick me up. So I can give you every day for 3 hours this ambassador car with a driver. So Giriraj Maharaj immediately agreed, said, okay, whatever you give me, I want to accept. And Giriraj Maharaj took that car and straight drove into the house of Birlas. Because with that car, the Birla people, the security guard didn't stop him. And they went inside the Birla house, and he entered inside. And there was a small child who was playing the grandson of Birla. So Giriraj Maharaj started talking to him, gave him some prasad, and he established some relationship with him. And then the grandfather came. So he explained to him that how Prabhupada wants to build this temple, and can you please give some donation? So he said, no, I will think about it. And then Giriraj Maharaj left. Then Giriraj Maharaj is very good in follow-up. So again after 3 days he followed up, and this man said, I have no interest. Then again after 7 days Giriraj Maharaj called up. On the landline that child picked up the call. And Giriraj Maharaj started talking to him. Do you remember, I had come to your house saying, please ask your grandfather that has he made some decision to give some donation. So when the grandchild went and asked the grandfather, that they are such nice people, can we give some donation? And immediately Birlas wrote a donation of 25,000 rupees on that day. That was the biggest donation for that temple. So Srila Giriraj Maharaj was mentioning that if you follow the instruction of the spiritual master, nothing is impossible. So I would end with this pastime, that how Vedavyas also wrote Mahabharata, and Srila Prabhupada has written all the scriptures for us. And if we read the scriptures, we get all the blessings. Hare Krishna. Thank you.